Rockdale County Board of Adjustment meeting. At this time, I'd like to do a roll call. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. My name is Nichelle Ford, and I am the chairperson of the Board of Adjustments. And we're going to begin this meeting with a roll call. When I call your name, board members, please answer with present or here. Mr. Ed Davis.
Present.
Ms. Leslie Lambert.
Present.
Mr. Michael Mixon.
Present.
Ms. Telfany Morgan.
Present.
Mr. Frederick Wilson.
Present.
And Ms. Margaret Wright.
Present.
And again, myself being the chair, we are all present and we have a full board.
Excuse me, Chair Ford.
Yes.
Just before we get started, all members, if you can just pull your microphone down close to your mouth and speak directly into it. We may be able to hear you in the room, but folks who are streaming won't be able to hear you unless you're talking directly into the mic.
Excellent.
So it's just a reminder for everyone.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jessica. All right, we're going to move the agenda to the next item, and this is the approval of the agenda for this evening. May I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting of June 1st, 2026?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Michael Mixon. May I have a second? I have a second by Frederick Wilson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next, we have the approval for the minutes. I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes for February 2nd, 2026. May I have a motion, please, from the floor?
Madam Chair.
Ma'am.
I do have a correction.
Well, we need to have a motion on the floor in order to have a discussion.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. May we have a motion to accept the minutes, the approval of the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the approval of the minutes.
There's a motion to approve the minutes, and I need a second from the floor.
A second.
It's been seconded by Margaret Wright from the floor. Any discussion to the motion?
Okay. Just to check, I did attend the February board meeting, the meeting, and I didn't see my name
Included in
listed.
the attendance, the
Right.
list on the attendance.
Yeah.
So we need to make that adjustment for Margaret Wright to be included in the attendance. Any other adjustments for the minutes? All right, can we have a motion to accept the minutes with the correction? Again, a motion to accept the minutes with the correction.
I make a motion to accept the minutes with the correction.
The motion has been made by Telfany Morgan. I need a second.
A second.
And it has been seconded by Leslie Lambert. All those in favor of accepting the motion to accept the minutes with the correction, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next in the agenda, we'll have the rules for the proceeding, the procedures for the public hearing.
Each speaker must sign their name to the appropriate zoning case sheet and fill out a public comment card to register their intent to speak prior to the start of the meeting. Each item of business shall be handled in the order that it appears on the agenda, unless upon motion of the Board of Adjustments, the order is changed. A member of the county planning staff will present each item to the Board of Adjustments. The zoning applicant or the agent will state their name and address at the podium and will have 10 minutes in which to make his or her presentation. Any portion of their 10 minutes may be reserved for rebuttal following the opposition to the application. After the applicant's presentation, all registered speakers who wish to speak in favor of the application will then be heard. Prior to speaking upon the item, each registered speaker will state their name and address at the podium. They will also be limited to a total of 10 minutes. Once the applicant has made his or her presentation and the speakers in favor of the application have been heard, the secretary will then call upon the registered speakers in opposition to the application. The opposition shall likewise be limited to a total of 10 minutes. Once the public hearing portion is closed, no other speakers will be heard. As a reminder, Speakers are to address the Board of Adjustments, not the applicant or the audience, and are expected to conduct themselves in an appropriate manner. The use of abusive or profane language shall not be allowed. No debate or argument between speakers shall be permitted. After all public comments have been heard, the Board of Adjustments may elect to hold general discussion. The board will then vote upon the application. Appeals shall be filed with the Clerk of Rockdale County Superior Court within 30 days after the final decision by the Board of Adjustments.
Thank you so much.
Each speaker.
Are we good? Okay, all right. We'll move on to the next item of the agenda. Unfinished business, there being none, we're going to move on to new business. Do we have a staff member that's going to speak on behalf of APP 2026-02?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening,
Good
board
evening.
members. Okay, and so this is actually an application for an appeal of an administrative decision.
For the interest of the board members, can you state your name?
Yes,
so that
ma'am,
everyone
I'm
is
sorry
aware
about
who
that.
you
Brandon
are?
White, Planning and Development
Yes,
Director.
thank you, Brandon.
So this is an appeal of an administrative decision regarding a home occupation business license renewal request. All right, the subject property is 1602 Ellington Road Southeast, located in the R1 Single Family Residential Zoning District. And so the applicant has put forth a renewal request for an instructional and training business for a maximum of 6 pupils as part of that instruction use. And so here you see the home occupation definition on your screen. Definition there, an occupation customarily carried on by an occupant of the dwelling unit as a secondary use, which is clearly incidental to the use of the dwelling unit for residential purposes and operated in accordance with the applicable provisions of Title II, Sections 218-1 and 218-13. Section 218-1 refers to the use table, which you have before you right now. And so the subject property is located in the R1 zoning district, is allowed by right, subject to supplemental regulations. Section 218-13 refers to the supplemental regulations that we'll get to in just a second. Here's a zoning map of the subject property, highlighted in the teal color, indicated by the star. The darker green is R1, single family residential, the lighter green AR, agricultural residential. Here's an aerial map of the subject property, once again denoted by the star. So the initial business license for this instructional use was issued in 2024, subject to the regulations of the UDO, the Unified Development Ordinance, and the subsections that I just referenced, 218-1 and 218-13. At that time, the supplemental regulations that applied are still in place today. So there have been some minor amendments to that section, mostly to subsection 3 of 218-13. The other 10 regulations that would apply to home occupations are still as is currently. As you can see on the right, home occupation affidavit signed by Ms. Levy indicates that she understands the regulations and would abide by those regulations. And so here's the view of the current regulations. As I mentioned, still 11 subsections related to home occupation uses. 10 of the 11 have not been modified at all since 2024. So the subsection specifically, subsection 218-13, subsection DD, subsection 1. Only residents of the dwelling unit containing the home occupation may be engaged in the home occupation. The home occupation shall not involve group assembly or group instruction on the premises. Subsection 10 outlines and gives examples of uses that will be included as home occupations, with the express limitation on teaching and instructions, which would be limited to not more than 2 pupils or 2 students at a time. Those regulations were in place in 2024, still applicable today. So the proposal submitted to the zoning staff at this time was to increase the number of students for the home occupation from a maximum of 2 to a maximum of 6. And so just as the interpretation, based on subsection 10, 2 is the maximum number of students that one could have for a home occupation. And so anything 3 or more, anything beyond 2, we would then classify as group assembly or group instruction. Also related to the request, the home occupation shall be clearly incidental to the residential use of the dwelling and shall not change the residential character of the building. Subsection 5, no internal or external alterations inconsistent with the residential use of the building shall be permitted. And so upon inspection of the subject property in April of 2025, these are photographs taken by code enforcement staff of the accessory structure, the garage, used for the instruction and the home occupation. And so based on the evidence from these photographs, it leads us to believe, while we haven't cited the individual specifically for violations of the home occupation, clearly what's been modified over the past few years indicates the intent to have more than 2 pupils, 2 students in the training facility. So based on the evidence provided to us, both the request, the applicable regulations, photographs obtained by our code enforcement officers, staff denied the request in April of 2026. So staff's recommendation to the board is to affirm the department's decision to deny renewal of the home occupation for instructional training facility that gives CPR, first aid, AED, advanced life support drills with a maximum of 6 participants on site at one time, plus 1 instructor at 1602 Ellington Road. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
If this is just,
Point
From
of
my-
order, I'm sorry.
oh,
Ms.
sorry.
Do we have anyone speaking to this application?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
In support of it or in denial of it?
That I don't know if anyone's in support.
Support.
All right. I think I would like to hear at least the support for it before we open up for questions. for you,
Not a
if that's-
problem.
If that's all right,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
So,
Please come, yes, please come forward. Sorry.
thank you for your time. My name is Eartha Levy. I reside at 1602 Ellington Road, Southeast. And I did prepare a slideshow for you
All right, give them
guys.
just a second.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I want to apologize, I didn't have time to put labels on where the tabs are, but, okay. Is there no volume, please? Okay, so, yeah, thank you for your time. My name is Eartha Levy. I've been residing at 1602 Ellington Road Southeast since 2001. I am a nurse educator. I am a service-connected Army veteran, and I am the owner of Postkeeper CPR. So Postkeeper CPR was founded in 2018. I previously was in Conyers, and prior to modifying the garage, I spoke with several members of the planning and zoning about what to do. And of course, they said they couldn't give me any legal advice or anything like that. So I modified my garage. I got approved in 2024, and I moved my business to the garage. So in tab 1, I have my executive summary and my outline of events from timelines, emails that I've had between myself and the county. And tab 2 is a copy of my license that was approved, the same application, in 2024 as well as 2025. Tab 10, you can find my credentials, my licenses for the states where I'm registered to license. I'm registered to practice nursing, as well as the courses that that I teach. So, under the NACES code 611699, Postkeeper CPR is included because it teaches CPR, first aid, AED, and it's excluded as a technical or trade school specifically. I pulled a copy of the NACES code website, and it's in your packet on tab 3. As far as the instructional use of the space, it continues to function as part of my normal residence, and it's not exclusively used for instructional activities. However, I do have the opportunity to modify it as needed. As a matter of fact, this past weekend, which happens quite often when my grandkids come over, we'll use that space as a quote-unquote den for activities. I wash my clothes there. As a matter of fact, when I'm working in the hospital setting, I will take my clothes off there and wash them there. So it's not specifically for training, although I use it for training. Tab 4 also has some outside still shots, as well as inside pictures of equipment that I use for simulation, the floor plans, and the county plat as well. So at one point, as the director said, I did request, I don't know why it's not playing, but anyway, I did request a permit application to have special use to increase the number of students there. And I was told by county staff that in my case, that a special use permit would not be a factor. This was late 2025 or early 2026. I'm not 100% sure exactly what day it was, but they did ask for additional information, which included the letter of intent, the course list, as well as operating hours, and I provided all of those. So tab 5 in your package shows information on the correspondence and the emails that I sent, as well as the letter of intent and course descriptions. So these are, the video that you're seeing is actually my house, and nothing has changed outside of the house except for that particular room that I made. Now, I do understand the county has concerns about instructional activities with a home occupation. However, Postkeeper CPR is operating on a limited appointment-only basis, not much different than what you would have in a home-occupied daycare center, which does allow six participants or more in that. I generate minimal traffic and has not created any adverse impacts on surrounding neighbors, and would like to serve small groups, and that's why I asked to increase, because the advanced life support classes work better when you have groups, as if you were in a hospital setting. The continuity of the education is a little bit better. It's harder when I just have 2 students, and I make through it because that's what I was told to do. On several instances, my neighbors, specifically my neighbor across the street in the last 2 years, didn't even know that I was teaching classes there, at least not until the sign was placed in my yard, is when neighbors started to realize that there was a business there. To me, that demonstrates that I had little impact on educational activities on the neighborhood, or changing the structure or the visitations. So sorry, tab 4 and 9 will also have information for you. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. So tab 4 has information on the home and the plot again, and tab 9 has my information for support letters from not only neighbors, the close neighbors surrounding me, as well as I have 1 student and other community members that support the business. So one issue was, and I thought maybe not knowing what was in the mind of the county when they said that they called my business a trade school, is that I do have a partnership with an online career development company. But those classes, if you click the website, that goes to their website. It's not, none of these classes for career advancement are held in-house. They're all online activities. So I cleaned up the I cleaned up my website in hopes to make it differential for people to understand a little bit better. And I just put a copy of that in tab 8 for you guys. So I have continued to cooperate with the county by submitting permits. The guy that did the build out was supposed to pull a permit, and he didn't, and I didn't find out until 2025 when I went for my renewal that was needed. So they told me to get a home inspector to come out, so I paid for the home inspector to come out. Then later in 2025, I was told towards December, I was told that I needed to have a certified letter from an engineer, a building engineer. So I paid for that, and I submitted that as well. Tab 7 has the compliance emails as well as the correspondence. There was an issue with the permit. I did pay for the permit. I did ask when I was told that I needed to have the permit, and once it was approved, then they said I didn't have to have another inspection, that I would have to pay for the permit. And it was approved, so I sent an email asking how should I pay for this permit, and I didn't get a response from that. But when I filed the appeal, I paid for the permit then, and so that's why the date of the permit is as such as it is, because that's when I figured out how to pay for it. As a nurse educator and a service-connected Army veteran, I have spent my whole entire life serving the community. That's all I want to do is serve the community. My way of serving is through education, and I am humbly asking you to appeal the initial decision and allow me to continue to teach in a reasonable fashion. If that means that I only go down to 2, that would be fine with me as well. I just want to be able to contribute to the community. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. So Brandon, can we have you come back and let's open up discussion and questions for Mr. White.
Yeah, hi. Mr. White. My question is, if she's to remain at 2 for the ordinance, can she do that consecutively? 2 for 2 hours, 2 for 2 hours, 2 for 2 hours? Would that break the ordinance?
Yes, that would be a violation. Yes.
Why would that be a violation if she only brings in 2 at a time? I don't understand.
So it's a maximum of 2 students.
Per day, per week, per hour? That's what I'm asking.
That is for the totality of the use. And so what happens is, if you break this into pieces, then you're expanding the scope of what should be a relatively minor, limited operation.
So, follow-up question.
Yes.
So, if, let's say the cycle of training is 6 weeks, you're saying that she should only have 2 participants for that cycle of 6 weeks?
Correct.
Right. Not 2 for one session, 2 for another session, within that window of 6-week training.
Correct.
For CPR, let's
Yes.
say, right?
As it relates to this particular type of use. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Any other questions for Brandon, Mr. White?
In the past, what was the number of sessions and the duration of those sessions when she was operating with an acceptable license?
So the regulations were still the same when she got her initial business license.
Mhm.
So the interpretation would have been the same.
So it was
applied.
always the same?
Correct.
There were no modifications given at that time?
Exactly.
Another question, so just so that the board is clear. She received a denial already,
Yes.
and this is brought before us to agree, or you say yes, to the current denial, or no to the denial.
So the appeal
So that we're clear, because
is
it's a very
Yeah.
nebulous space,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you have to really read this with clarity so that there is a fair vote, okay?
And so the appeal is to ask you all for reconsideration because the staff decision was either erroneous or arbitrary. And so if you vote to affirm the staff's decision, you are affirming the denial of the request for 6 students for this particular home occupation. If you deny, or I guess approve the appeal, then
it's
you're
either a yes or a no, right?
Yes.
So the vote is a yes to affirm the denial
yes,
or a no to deny the denial,
correct.
okay?
Yes,
So that people are clear.
you are correct. Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
So to be clear, she had a license to allow 2 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
She then applied for a variance for 6, and the denial was for the 6, or are we denying the 2?
We're denying the request for 6 students.
Okay.
So she
The
would be able, if
expansion.
she put in a request, if she wanted to renew and only have 2 students, we would approve that request.
Oh, okay. So
Okay, so this
Right.
is specifically about the variance, though. This is an appeal on the variance, not a...
So it's not in the variance.
No.
This
Okay.
is a request upon her renewal. She wanted to modify the terms of her business license renewal to increase the number of students.
Okay, but she could, in theory, put in for a variance, though.
No.
No.
No. Okay.
This is an unusual case for us in terms of licensing,
Yeah.
right? So that's why I want to be clear for the board that what it is that we're doing, because normally before us are variances,
Right.
regarding the current variances or ordinances that exist across the county for building,
Right.
right? This is a license. Again, this is an unusual case for us.
Right.
So I want to make sure everyone is clear that this is about her license was not renewed because she wanted to expand the number of participants to 6.
Correct. Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
Okay.
Do y'all have any, if she were to reapply for without the request for the 6, would that be approved or as is, or is there anything else standing in the way of that?
If she wants to continue to operate with 2 students only, and assuming she's complying with all the other regulations,
Correct.
yes, we could approve that.
Okay.
I have another, I guess, not question, but for clarification, because you mentioned about the modifications that she made to her garage. Is that really an issue with regards to the licensing? She didn't get the permits that were required for building at the time, but she did the work. Is that also a stipulation for denial, or is it only just about these 2, the more than 2
And so
participants?
the authority that you all have, if you make a decision, you can also add conditions to that if however you all see fit. So if you think it's something that needs to be addressed, the board has that authority to do so.
I have a question about the garage modification. Am I reading it correctly that it says there was a bathroom added to the garage during the modification?
Yes.
There is one
Yes.
shown in one of the pictures, yes.
Yes.
And the permitting for that's been corrected since?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
I have some questions for Ms. Levy.
Okay, all right. So we're going to ask Ms. Levy to come forward.
Hey there.
Okay.
Have you operated Pulse Keeper CPR in any other county or city other than Rockdale or Conyers?
Just Rockdale and Conyers. You may have, if you've seen Pulse Keepers anywhere else, I do travel. I have clients in Rome. I have clients in Missouri.
Okay. Do you have students out of state?
Yes.
Okay. So completing the hands-on portion is not a requirement of completing the training?
No, it's a requirement. For American Heart Association, you can do part of the training online, but for the CPR, so that you know the skills and have the kinesthetics of performing those skills, those are in person.
So your out-of-state students, how do they?
I travel.
To out-of-state, okay. And so your CPR cards issued upon completion of the training, is that affiliated with a school?
No, it's affiliated with the American Heart Association.
Okay,
I was
straight
once
through you.
also doing American Red Cross classes, but more hospitals are accepting of American Heart Association, so I mostly do those trainings.
Okay, so you're able to issue AHA straight through your organization?
Yes.
Not a school, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else
Any
have?
other questions for Ms. Levy?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Can you tell me, because I've been in healthcare for many years, but you're doing CPR, ACLS, BLS, all of that?
Right.
Okay. So those require different time frames online, yes?
Yes.
So I just want to make sure everybody has clarity on those. So CPR might be a half-day course and then go get your stuff,
Right.
right? ACLS may be a 2-day course and then go get your stuff,
Right.
right? So they're saying you can have 2 students at a time but that's really based on course time, right? It's not, how do I put this? It's not generic throughout. It's dependent on the class. So I want that to be clear. So I could have 5 people online doing this for CPR and then bring 2 in, and when the next one's done, bring 2 in, right?
Well,
Is that, I just want to try to get clarification for
when
everybody.
those courses are done, when they take the option to do the blended learning,
Yes,
the online portion is done at their time.
Yes.
I just have a scheduled time where they come in for the hands-on portion.
okay.
That's all I do is the hands-on
Okay.
portion.
So you're.
Now, I do also offer it where they can do the whole course, like the didactic portion that they would normally do online, as well as the hands-on, which takes a lot longer because, as you stated, for basic life support classes, those classes are 4 hours. For advanced life support classes, those classes are about 8 hours.
And that does not include, does that 8 hours include your hands-on?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just want that to be clear to everybody because they're not the same bucket.
Right. They're all different levels of classes. American Heart Association recommends having more people for the advanced classes. Again, these are the classes that people that work in the emergency room, that fire departments take, EMS, those classes, so that they can have the skill set to do that. So it's a little struggle with 2 people, but I've been managing with 2, and like I said, my neighbors have not noticed any difference from when I'm having a class or having people over for company. And I do have some neighbors here, our neighbor.
So we're, just so that we're clear, the cap is 2.
The cap is 2.
And it's really not about the neighbors.
Right.
So I want to
Okay.
focus you on that, right?
Gotcha.
It's really not about the neighbors. It's about the ordinance that exists, right?
Right.
So you can, after hearing Leslie speak about, you can have 5 or 6 or 10 in, let's say, in the queue, I'll call it, right? Doing the online portion. But when they're ready for now the hands-on, you can cap the hands-on portion where they can sign up for Monday the 1st, Monday the 7th, Monday the 15th, and they would have to choose one of those dates, but knowing the maximum is 2.
Right. That's how I've been operating for the last 2 years, is having capped
2.
at 2. Yes.
So is the requirement of additional students an ask of yours, or is it an ask of the American Heart Association?
It's highly suggested by the American Heart Association.
And if you don't follow through that, do you lose something from them because you're not providing at least 6 sessions with at least 6 participants?
I will probably have to stop teaching those advanced classes and only stick to other classes that I have.
And the advanced classes are the ones that include folks coming and having to manipulate the dummy and the
Yes.
compressions.
Yes,
and things
all
like
of the
that.
classes, any CPR class that I teach, you
Has to
have
do
to
that.
do the
Yes.
mannequin. Yes. But the advanced classes go into some, in one of my letter mentioned medical equipment. So it's more equipment, more technical stuff that we practice on the
The
mannequins.
defibrillator you're talking about.
Well, the defibrillator and EKG, all of those things.
Any other questions for Ms. Levy? All right, thank you very much. We're going to close the discussion at this time. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I will entertain a motion Just so that we are clear again, right? The motion is to accept the denial. We're going to just make this very, I think, short and sweet, right? The motion is to accept the denial, okay, or to not accept the denial. Everyone clear on that? Okay? All right, I'll entertain a motion in either of those spaces.
I would like to move to not accept the denial with the caveat that it stays 2, unless a variance has been brought forth.
We have to amend that, okay? We're not talking variance. This is only an accepting or not accepting.
But the current license standards are for 2.
Right,
This was
but it's
just
not a variance, it's an application.
No, I know.
Right, okay.
No, I'm saying that if she wants 6, she can try and go for a variance in the future. That this is just me saying that I would like to approve the license request at 2.
Okay, all right, I want to give point of clarification again. I don't know if you're going to be able to help with this, Brandon, but, okay, so I'm going to talk to you, you tell me yes or no, all right? So, just so that we're clear, first overarching, this is not a variance, so yes or no?
Correct, yes.
Okay, it is not.
It is not a
So
variance.
variance should not be in the motion, okay? We're all with that, okay? It's not a variance. This is an appeal.
Right.
So the language has to lean with the appeal. That's number 2. Number 3 being that we're either agreeing with the current denial or we're not agreeing with the current denial
Correct.
of the license, because we're only talking for the license.
Correct.
Okay?
One more question.
Yes, go right ahead.
But conditions can be placed.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
it's wordage.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're clear about the wording so that the motion does appear correct in the record,
Right.
all right?
And so the stated language is whether the staff's decision was erroneous or arbitrary. That's the decision before you. Did we make an erroneous decision or did we come up with something that was arbitrary based on the code?
I think we all get that part.
Yeah.
But I think, again, just to understand that it's either we agree with that denial, okay, or we
Right.
don't agree,
Correct.
okay? All right,
Yes,
so I'm going to open this up again. So, Michael, do you want to revisit your motion?
If I can, I would like my motion to be that I disagree with the denial with a condition of it maintains its 2, which is what the code requires.
Gotcha. We have a motion to deny the denial, okay? Deny the denial with a condition that the license allow for 2 participants. Are we clear? Michael, am I correct?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, okay. So we have the motion. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
All right, it has been moved by Michael Mixon and seconded by Tiffany Morgan. Any discussion to this motion? To this motion?
What was your condition again?
To maintain the current status of 2 at a time. 2 pupils at a time.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're
Well-
welcome.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, with that motion, what it sounds like to me is a denial, right? Accepting the denial, if you're just saying give the license with 2, is that not right? Because that's the ordinance, right?
We are, they have already denied, right? And so we either say, yes, we agree with you, right? Or no, we don't agree with the denial. Because we believe that if you're saying no, you're saying that we believe that they made a mistake in denying this for Ms. Levy, and that we want them to issue the license with the cut of 2 people. Is that clear?
So, Madam Chair, is it that we are accepting the denial based under subsection 218-13DD that states teaching of any kind provided instruction is limited to not more than 2 pupils at a time, with the auspice that the applicant can go back and apply for a permit for the 2 pupils?
Correct, but we are not accepting the denial. We're saying no to their denial. They were using that as the stipulation of the denial. All right? So we're saying, no, we think she should. We're not accepting your denial. We think that she should get consideration with these 2 participants.
So the new language is to make a motion to not accept the denial.
The motion is extends, and it's worded in that way.
Got it.
Any other discussion? Can we call the question? I'll call the question. All those in favor of denying the current decision from staff in order that the applicant, with the condition that the applicant can reapply with the cap of 2 participants for her business. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
We have
I also oppose.
2 opposals. 1, 2, 3, 4 in favor of the motion. 2 have opposed. The motion carries. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to the next item. That is the end of our agenda. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be to be announced based on what is coming up on the docket. Any announcements from staff this evening? Okay, thereby being none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
It has been moved by Frederick Wilson. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Leslie Lambert. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our meeting is adjourned. It is 6:49.